but it gives you a chance to do other things, put other things in a report, especially when it comes to non-financials. Okay, so and these non-financials interestingly have a link, they have a connection with what the financials will be like. So if you're talking about how many people visit your website, then you will know that if 1,000 people are visiting the website and then 100 of the 1,000 is converted into a sale, then if you get 2,000 people visiting your website, you're going to increase your sales by another 100, okay, approximately. So this non-financials can be a case for strategic decision making as far as your business is concerned. So if you know what would drive people to come to your website, then you're going to increase your sales. Okay. Yeah. And all other things which are non-financials, which can also relate to your financials, can be included in the report. You can include picture pages into the report. Okay, activities that you undertook the previous month can all be included in the report. So instead of probably having a 10-page or 15-page report, whatever you wish included in a spotlight report can be added. Okay, so this is our accountancy formula. As we all know, the first page would be to capture the data. I want to, because I'm coming to management accounts, which is stage 2, I first of all want to talk about stage 1. Right? In stage 1, we want to capture our data. We want to capture and record our data. We want to analyze our data. We want to reconcile our bank. These are all important. Before the information will get into stage 2, you have to be sure that all these bank transactions have been reconciled. All the data that you have put in there is correct. Okay. You have to know about your background information. Sometimes you have to know about the procedure manual of the company concerned. You have to know about anything that happens in the office. You have to know about the organogram. Okay, who is who? Okay, because when we come to the management report, you want to know who does this, who is in charge of strategy, who is doing finance, who is doing sales, so that you can recommend what each of them is going to do to make the organization move forward. So this is something that is ongoing every month. You don't wait for the end of the year to get your statutory accounts. The statutory accounts is required by law. Okay, so at the end of the year, everything you've done has been put together to be filed with the in Ghana we call the registrar generals. Okay, but in UK it's not the same that we use. So everything can come together at the end of the year, but it's better to have it on a monthly basis so that you can take corrective measures at the end of every month. But who is going to take those corrective measures? If you don't know the organogram, you don't know who's in charge of what, whose name are you going to mention? Okay, who's going to do sales and marketing if you don't know the people in the organization? So you need a lot of information about the organization in question. And sometimes it should be like you should be sitting in the organization, and then you would be able to tell who is who and what everyone can do to move the organization forward. Okay, so in the management account setting, everything about the organization is important. Who's the manager? Who's the CEO? Who's the salesperson? Who's the finance director? Who's the marketing manager? Everybody is important. I have sometimes taken time to read the previous year audited accounts, okay, to understand the operations of the, because in the narrative they will tell us what the company has been doing, what it has achieved in the past year, what it hopes to do in the current year, okay, the years ahead. I have also taken time to read the website, okay, and to understand what they do, okay, and all this has become information that are needed in the management report. So after getting your report, your information, management information from Xero or QuickBooks or Sage, you just have to import the financials into the Spotlight package. Once you import the financials and you have all the background information, all the other information that you need to know about this client, then you can use this information to create a very good management report. Okay, so in the management report, you want to see the profit and loss analysis, the balance sheet, the cash flow, you want to see the KPIs, very important, and the Google Analytics, and then the non-financials as well. So KPIs usually has to do with the financial information and some numbers that you wish to achieve. Okay, so what's the gross profit that you wish to achieve? Probably you want to achieve 30% gross profit percentage. Okay, so that one you can easily tell from the budget. Okay, this KPI I want to achieve. Okay, sales amount. Probably you want to get 8,000 sales every month. So you put an 8,000 sales there, and then you measure it against what you actually achieved. Okay, and then you'll be able to tell whether you're going forward or you're achieving or not. Okay, the non-financials has to do with those that do not deal with numbers. Okay, so you're talking about how many employees left the organization um, last month. Okay, so if you're aiming at 0, then means your KPI for the month for staff attrition is 0. So if you achieve a 0, that means you are on top of your staff. So you can do that to measure satisfaction, how really your staff are able to stay with you. And you agree with me that the staff constitutes a great deal to your performance as a company. If you have everything else, and you don't have experienced people, okay, and always people are leaving, then it means you don't really have a very good company running. Okay, so these are some of the non-financials that you can measure. Customer satisfaction. Okay, these days when you do, even when I go into Spotlight and then I want to create a report, when I'm leaving, they ask me, am I satisfied with the product? Am I satisfied with the responses I get? Because when I get stuck, I'll just ask a question. There's a question tag there where I can go there and just ask, okay, I'm stuck here. Can you please help me? Okay, so after the session, if I'm leaving, I want to exit, log out, they'll ask me, were you satisfied with 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 the package, the way we treated you and everything? You can measure all that for your company and then you put it in a Spotlight report. So if all the people are giving you 100% satisfied, then it means you're actually doing well. Okay, it means that going forward, you know that you are doing well, and then you can maintain what you do to get them satisfied. Okay, so everything else about the company, the Spotlight report can measure. So it's a one-stop shop where you will know how your company is performing. And so for monthly meetings, monthly management meeting, you could come out with, you could just be holding your Spotlight report and be discussing what has happened. Some of the columns will give you a month-by-month comparison. So last month, last 2 months, last 3 months, last year at the same time, what was happening, right? It can give you all that. There's a lot of flexibility with the package. Well, I've been working with this package for some time now, and every time I get in there, I see the value that is it gives to most companies. Okay, so if you are able to do this for a client, then you are helping the client to move forward, and by all means, this client should succeed if they have a good managerial report going on. Yeah. So stage two is quite a very important stage. One interesting thing about Spotlight reporting is that once you import data into the Spotlight package, once you import data into the Spotlight package, you would see the whole um, um, you see the whole set of data that has come from um, the accounting package. So if it's data is coming from zero, you see that the chart of accounts just flow into Spotlight. Okay. And from there, once you create your report, once you start creating your report, you'll be able to tell what is wrong with your chart of accounts. If there's anything wrong with the chart of accounts, if the lines have been repeated, okay, if two accounts means the same, if the accounts, the chart of accounts is too long, okay, and some of them are repeated themselves. If you need to combine um, two two accounts, okay, you will be able to tell from Spotlight that these accounts are way too long. You need to shorten them. Some have been repeated. You need to join them, put them together. Okay. It's quite a useful tool because you see, by the time you get to stage three, where you are doing statutory accounts, you already know what has gone wrong. You already have corrected all the issues that you had with stage one. So stage three becomes easier and very interesting because you've taken time to scrutinize stage one by doing stage two. Okay. So it's a very good thing to do, honestly. It takes a lot of um, burden out of your head before you get to stage three. By stage three, your account is very clean. You know where your chart lies, what is missing, and how you go about it to do your statutory account. So this is a sample report I want to create for our clients in Moracle. So this is what we've been working on all this while. Okay, so we have a cover page, and then we have a content. Okay, on the contents, we want to tell you all these things are populated. The content page is populated by itself. You don't have to. Once you add the pages to the report, then the content page fills up by itself. So we have a profit and loss analysis. So you see, the interesting thing about Spotlight is that for um, every page that has numbers, the accounting numbers and profit and loss, you can create so many graphs, okay, to show to the client, to the management. And for those who don't really appreciate the numbers, at least the graphs can explain the numbers to them. Okay. And if you master the use of Spotlight, there are graphs which are there already. There are graphs which yourself you can create. Okay. It gives you that flexibility to create the graphs. So in the course of training, or if you want to be certified for Spotlight, you would learn how these kind of graphs can be created for your clients. Okay, it's quite an interesting package, And I would recommend that if you have time, if you can, please make an effort to get certified for Spotlight. Um, I I have seen other packages in action, okay, which are not like Spotlight. It's not like so interesting like what Spotlight has for us. I've seen others before Caseware. And um I went for a CPD program in Deloitte, okay, where some people are promoting a package for Caseware. That's what Spotlight does. And especially for consolidation purposes. Okay. And even with a case where there's so much work you do before you can do consolidate for a company which has subsidiaries. Okay, but with Spotlight, once you put the subsidiary accounts into the package. Okay, and then you just click on consolidate, and then you choose a currency. Okay, for the consolidation. Spotlight will just go ahead and consolidate for you. You don't have much work to do. So all you have to do is that the individual accounts that you are pulling in has been correctly and rightly done. And then you just click on consolidate and choose the accounts that is supposed to consolidate. Then we'll just put it together for you. Meanwhile, um, this case where, as I remember for that presentation, so I was quite surprised to see that there's a package like Spotlight which can easily consolidate your accounts for you. And you don't have much work to do. Only that you have to make sure that the information coming in is very good. Okay. You know how consolidation can be a headache. And also when we're studying for for ACCA, I mean consolidation one of the difficult things to understand and to do it in action will not be easy. A Spotlight takes off this burden from your head. Okay, so once you know what you want, it asks it to consolidate. It will go ahead and consolidate for you. Just a click of a button. Okay, so in our pages that we look out for in a Spotlight report is an executive summary page. So this is an executive summary page. And most of the narrations you see here are auto-generated. Okay, so it's only the general overview and probably a few of them that you may have to think through and then write something very meaningful for the client. But for revenue, gross profit, banks, um, all of them are auto-generated. The words which are used there are all auto-generated. You just go into Spotlight and then you say you want to include this topic in your executive summary. Okay. And then you say auto. Okay. So if you say auto, it gives you the option of what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about the gross profit this month and last month? Or you want to talk about the gross profit this month and this month last year? Okay. Or the gross profit this month and probably last 3 months. That's how I want to compare. So you choose which one and then it populates it for you. Because you have already brought in your data from QuickBooks into Spotlight. Your gross profit and everything is there. And you just compare it and generate it for you. So let's say for the revenue, it says the revenue for January 2021 was 114,223 compared to 113,679 last month. Okay, so this represents an increase of 544 or 0.48%. Okay, so this one you don't write it. You don't have to be sitting and writing. You know, if you want to include revenue in your executive summary, click on revenue. Okay, so you want a narrative for revenue. It will give you the option to auto and to give you the option to write. Right? So what are you going to write? It will be difficult to put your thoughts together and write something for revenue. So the best option is to do auto. Okay, even after the auto, if you wish to make changes to what the auto has given you, you can still go ahead and make some changes or additions to what the auto generated has given you. So you can auto for especially the information that's come in from QuickBooks or your accounting system. So you auto for them, and then you are good to go. So for something for the bank for January was 318,307 compared to 286,307 last month. This represents an increase of 32,000 or 11.18%. Okay, so probably the one below the bank, well done on maintaining a solid cash position throughout Q3. The current cash position is enough to cover direct and overhead expenses until demand picks up again. Okay, so you can compare 3 quarters, you can compare, or you yourself, if you're able to observe something which you think should come into the account, then you can do a write-up in addition to the auto-generated narratives that you have there. Okay, now you have observations. So for each client, when we have taken the information from the accounting system, we want to bring it to spotlight reporting and try to create a report like this. So we'll talk about the market condition. So imagine that you don't know much about the clients. Okay, you cannot do much in spotlight reporting. After the auto and the executive summary, there are many other things that you want to say. So the recommendation sessions. So after you put your narrative together, you put the auto together, you have to make recommendation for the clients. Okay, you can't just give the clients, this is your profit and your loss for the month of no. So even if you think about it, these things are in QuickBooks. Okay, so if you are doing a spotlight report, you don't have these additions, okay, at the executive summary and all the other pages that we are going to look at. That means you are just repeating what's in QuickBooks. Okay, and it's interesting when you are able to tell what is happening to this client in a report like this, on a month by month basis. Okay. Okay. So you see things like this. Franchise discussions are underway. Strategic. To maximize franchise sales price, it's recommended that new processes are cemented and efficiency measured before launching the franchise opportunity. Okay, so before you can write something like this about the client, you must have read their audited accounts. Okay, at least they'll spell out some of their future plans in them. Okay, so then you can come back and include something very much related to their future plans into the report, and that makes the report even more authentic. So you have a feel as if you are a member of staff, at least you know what's going on in there. You need a lot of background information, a lot of learning to be able to create a report like this, okay, about the client. If you don't know much about the clients, you may not be able to create such a report. The closer you get to the clients in knowing much about them, the better a report you can create for them. Okay, the next page is about action. It's about action we think that they should take. Okay, so this is the action page. So in terms of strategy, they need to take an action. In terms of finance, they need to take an action. In terms of marketing, they need to take an action. Okay, so strategy, who is in charge of strategy? If you know the organogram, you know who is the boss of the place, probably the CEO. So you mention the name. Okay, so you see the assignee here is called Richard. Okay, because you know the organogram, you know who is who. So all these things you have to know about it. Otherwise, you create a report which doesn't communicate much, doesn't say much about the company in question. So for strategy, you have somebody like Richard. You're telling Richard. So you're telling Richard that the 2021 strategy should be based on feedback from the board. Okay, you're telling him also that you finalize and publish the draft strategy. Okay, because probably you are aware that he's already doing it, so you give him a 70% line. Okay, because you know what's happening in the company, so you can at least say something. and relate with them. Okay, and that makes the report more realistic than to say, oh, the P&L and the balance sheet is okay for a management report. No. Okay, and I'm happy that Mola chose the sample. Because when you are creating the report, you are thinking of all these things and how to get um, these things inside the report. So going to the website, looking at the organigram, looking at the names of people who work in the organization, who's a marketing manager, who's a finance director, who is who. Okay, so we come to sales. You want to say you should do a sales analysis for quarter 4. Okay, and then you should hire new sales manager ready for quarter 1 the following year. Okay, because you anticipate that the sales will increase. From the numbers, you could see that the sales will go up. So you should hire a new sales manager for quarter 1 2021. That's the following year. Okay, and then assigning who's supposed to do this. Okay, it's David. Because you know who is there. You can't just write a report without any names there. It means you don't know much about the company. So it's important that you get to know the company you are working for. Okay, and now we come to the typical financials. This is the information that we imported from QuickBooks or from Zero into the management report. Okay, okay, and then it allows us to create columns to analyze this report in such a way that um, the manager can do comparison and then they'll know whether they are doing well as compared to the immediate past year, immediate past month, the past quarter or something. So these columns are columns that you choose for your clients. Okay, so um, from year to date, so the first column is a year to date. Okay, and then it gives you the last year. Okay, so you want to compare the same time last year, right? For last year, if it was year to date is 6 months, for last year the same time 6 months, how was it like? Okay, and then what's the difference between last year and this year, the same time period? Okay, then the current month, that's the one in green, right? And then the last 3 months. Okay, so it's interesting. I mean, you see everything clearly here. Oh, it's your sales like the different revenue sources. How was it like? What has come? Total revenue. You can see it there. And the cost of sales is also there. The gross profit is also there. So it's calculated everything and it's giving you a report. So forward, they're also giving you forward thinking. If you are bringing this thing forward into the next year, like projecting to the next year based on the budget that you have put into the system, should be able to tell what's going to happen. Okay. So this is how the spotlight reports look like. So once you know what to do, Spotlight would do it for you. You know what to do in terms of what the report should look like. Spotlight is able to do that for you. So the forward projection, so your budget from the time from January 2021, budget projection forward to it has given you. Okay. So that is how it is. And the total for the two that's giving you. Okay. So year to date and then your budget. So this is your year to date. What has happened? A budget or projection going forward. So what to look out for if the budget happens, and then your year to date is also added to the budget. This is what you're going to get. Okay. So this is a very, very interesting report. I don't know which management or which do not like this kind of report every month. The expressions that we have gotten so far for management report that has been created for many clients is interesting. Many have seen this report and they're like, oh wow, this is the kind of report we wish to see every month. Okay. So Spotlight is very interesting. So from the P&L that we just saw, we come to the P&L graphs. Okay, for each each time you give them figures, you give them diagrams also, so that they can appreciate what has happened with the figures. And the figures are represented in graphs. Okay, like I said, some of the board members do not appreciate the figures, but if you put it in graph, they would appreciate. Okay, so we have the revenue. Yeah. So the different revenues. Okay, you see that there are different sources of revenues. Each of them has been represented in a graph. Okay, so you see which one in the month of April, one is higher than the other. In the month of May, they both hit the same. Okay, and then the last month of the report, January, you see that one revenue is higher, way higher than the other, right? It's typical of that in December. So whatever you are seeing in the figures that is not clear to you, we put it in a graph, you appreciate it better. So you see gross profit efficiency also in a graph. You can choose different graphs. There are so many graphs with gross profit. Okay, so you can choose which of them you want to represent for the client. So all these things are very important. If you know what the client is up to, if you read a budget well, you'll be able to know that they want their gross profit to be up every month. Okay, so if they see the figures, they don't see it well, and if they see it in the graphs, they'll know that um, this has been represented very well. They understand what is going on very well. This can even send you back to the a page where the figures are. You just go and look at it thinking, oh wow, so this is what is showing in the graph section. Okay, so Spotlight has taken care of everyone. The one who can understand figures and the one who cannot understand and appreciate figures. So which are the top revenue contributors? This is a very simple graph. You see that support revenue um, was the least. Okay, and the highest would be the project revenue. Okay, so product revenue is second on the list. Top revenue contributors. Okay, so this top revenue is from different places that this company is located. One is Auckland, and then one is Australia. Okay, so you can see that the the package Spotlight is able to analyze your data in such a way that you can see every location. If there are divisions in the company, the package will be able to put all that together. It depends on the data that you have pulled from QuickBooks. If in QuickBooks you have your divisions clearly done, okay, then you should bring it into Spotlight. Spotlight can further divide data and analyze them based on your ability to understand the package. You can further divide the data, analyze them, put them in the way you want to. Interestingly about Spotlight, when you are using the package and then you wish to do something, you wish to um, do something in the report and that you cannot do, you can call the attention of um, the, the Spotlight people to come and help you. Now, if they don't have that feature in Spotlight, then it means that it's on their list to provide that feature for users, okay, as time goes on. So you'll be there and they'll update the software so that you'll be able to do some of the things that you wanted to do. Okay. And this would be um, the balance sheet um, for the report. Okay. Now this capex monitors. So you want to see whether you bought a capex in the month, okay, or year to date. You can see here the latest asset you may have acquired. Okay, the amount of people you owe. Okay, if you owe people, so this is a debt monitor telling you that you owe such and such amount. But these are the things that you wish to see um, from the balance sheet. Spotlight is here to, you can decide to do away with these monitors as well. Okay, you decide to do away with this monitor. So it is telling you virtually everything about the company. It doesn't leave anything out at all. And then your balance sheet too has balance sheet graphs. Okay. So you want to see your balance sheet figures in graph as well. They are also here for you. Okay. Then we come to your cash flow. Okay. So this is your cash flow analysis. So that's analyzing how the cash has been spent in the company, right? So it has depreciation and amortization. It has increase in debtors, increase in creditors. All that has been included here, okay, in the spotlight report. So these are just a few of the pages in the spotlight report. You could have many other pages. Like I said, if you did probably a presentation somewhere, a live presentation where you had audience, you took pictures, you want to say that you want to add that page to your spotlight report that this particular month, this and this happened in the company. You want to keep a record of it, right? And keep it in a place where everybody, hotel management, can see it. You can put the pictures in spotlight. It allows any page at all you want to be added to the spotlight report. It has its own inherent pages that um, comes with the package. Now, if you want to add your own page, it will allow you to add any other information you wish to put into the report. Okay. Okay, and then it will so this is a page for the cash flow analysis. Okay, and the total revenue is this, the cost of sales is this, so this is a P&L which has also been represented in the form of a cash flow. And this is very, 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 very interesting. I actually like these diagrams. Okay. So this is telling you that you have, if you look at the cash that flowed in the whole of the month of April, the month of the report, this is the cash which is left. Okay. Now, if you look at the cash that flow in for that month, this is the closing balance at the end of the month. Okay. Yeah. So those who don't appreciate can appreciate the diagrams. Like I said, makes life very easier. Then you have cash profiler. So this cash profiler is a graph that only talks about cash. Okay. So the year-to-date cash, the cash as at the end of January, the cash in, okay, the cash in, and the expense cover trend, the way the cash was used to cover expenses, the cash on hand. So everything about this page is a cash diagram. So you have our KPIs also here. Okay, so you have your profit. So this information is information that you have picked from your budget for the year. So for the year, and then zooming in for the month in question, you're looking for a profit of 157, 180, 400. Okay, that's a target. Okay, and then your actual is 154, 570. You're looking at 70% gross profit percentage as a target, and you made 66%. Okay, you're looking for a revenue of 1,129,000. And then you made a revenue 1,079,057. Okay, so this is how it is. You're looking for a target of 450,000 cash at the end of the month. The actual is 317, 307, 318, 307. So if you look at the cash profiler, you see that the cash at the end of the month was 318, 307. So actually these pages are communicating with each other. Okay, you're just representing the same information in different ways. more meaningful ways for the people who are going to use it to appreciate. Okay. So if you look at the information this way, this is what will stick into your mind, and then you know what the company is doing, how it's performing. So at the end of a session with management, you actually can tell that this company is doing well or not. Okay. So this is the ideal kind of report that we want to produce for our clients in Moracle. That's taking time, but we are gradually getting closer and closer. Very soon we'll be able to do this. Okay. So this is a workflow chart. Okay. So how many billable hours do we have? And then we are comparing to this year, last year. Um, Billable and non-billable hours. How many of them? So as we work, has to do with a timesheet, okay, or something like that. Okay. So all the activities of every member of staff or all the timesheets can be translated into this kind of graphs. The consulting and monitoring, internal business development, partners review. So this has to do with something like an auditing firm. Okay, there's an accounting firm, kind of, yeah, some kind of thing. Okay. And so this is a Google Analytics page. You want to see how many people visited the website, how many were first time visitors, okay, how many were returning visitors, how much time did they spend on the website. So if you if you have the website information for a company, you have a password, okay, you can access this um, through Google Analytics. And then Spotlight will allow you to import this into Spotlight and then to turn it into those graphs, okay, for management to look at. I don't think people create websites just for people to just visit and look, but they want to see how many people are visiting, how many people, how long they stay there. If they can find out a reason why people are visiting, and if they visited and then, like I said in the beginning, if they visited and then it came out that um, it ended up in selling, okay, it increased their sales. Then it means that they will allow more people, they will want that more people visit the website so that they can patronize their products and services. Okay. Yeah. So this is the information that you can get from Google Analytics. Okay, now no financials. Okay, like I told you in the beginning, apart from Google and all the financial indicators that we want to see, profit, revenue, no financials. So you want to see customer satisfaction rating. Okay, how effective is our hourly rate for our staff? If every hour you think you can measure how effective they use the hours, okay, our effective hourly rates. So you can measure that one as well, and how much they are generating. Okay, so this is the non-financial page. Okay, how many new customers did we have? What's our target? So the target is the stars up, and then the actuals is the bars that we have here. Okay, how many of our actually customers who came into the business were able to buy? So sales conversions are put in it here as well. Okay. So everything about the business can be put here. Any other information that you want to measure, Spotlight will allow you to put all that into the report. Okay, anything you want to measure. And if you look at the Spotlight reporting page, it gives you the chance to add other non-financials to your report. Anything at all, anything you can think about that the company wants to measure, non-financial, is there. Is there. Probably lateness, arrival of staff to work. If it was an in-person um, kind of um, organization where everybody works in, okay, and there's a time Some companies have this system that when you walk into the door to record the time that you came in, okay, and record everybody's time. You can collect all that and do an average time of arrival each day of the month, and then put it into Spotlight. It will allow you to put in something like that. Anything at all you want to measure, Spotlight will take it as a non-financial. So it allows you to add your own non-financial indicators. And then in itself, it also has these ones: new customers, sales conversion. So if you can use, if you think that the ones in there don't suit your business, you can add your own non-financials and then measure them. Okay. So this is what Spotlight reporting can do, and this is what we wish to do for our clients. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, let's hear you. Questions and comments. If you have any comments about today's presentation, shall we hear you? I have a problem with my system. I'm not able to move very fast with my PC.
Hi, Mariam.
Hello.
This is Florence. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Florence.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. The only question I just want to ask is, when you were showing us the chart on the cash, I just want to clarify, is it just the real cash, or when we're talking about that cash there, we're talking about cash at bank as well? We're talking about real, money. We are talking about all the money they have in their accounts.
Well, I think it's a cash at bank
Okay, that's
they
it.
talk about.
That's
Yeah,
it, yeah.
the cash at bank. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question? Any other question, please? If you have any question or any comments, please let's hear you.
Sorry, and as another thing I want to ask, because you are in Ghana and you are using this Spotlight. I know that the sample you are giving out to us, it has a dollar. So because I'm trying to do my certification, but I haven't looked through it, all the currency they have. Do they have African currency? Do they have a Ghanaian currency and all those? Because if you are going to present it to your clients, in Ghana, I believe it's supposed to be in the currency of Ghana, cedis and all those. Does it come with that, or what currency? I'm talking about the Spotlight.
Yes, so Spotlight has all the currencies in the world.
Okay.
Yes, just like QuickBooks, okay, or Zero. Zero will allow you to create your company in any currency at all. The same information is what will flow into Spotlight.
Okay.
So if it's Ghanaian cedi, it will allow you to put your report in Ghanaian cedi. Now, if you want to do consolidation, imagine that you have a company which is spread throughout the world, right? So we have a naira, cedi, pound, dollar, right? And then you want to put in a consolidated account. So let's say McDonald's or KFC. KFC is all over in Ghana. Okay, I think it's also in Nigeria.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes. So if you want to put a consolidated account for KFC, so you put in the naira in Nigeria, you put in the Ghanaian cedi in Ghana, you put in the dollar in US, and then you create one consolidated account in dollars. Okay, Spotlight will allow you to only ask you what rate you are using for each of the other currencies.
Okay.
Okay. And then it will
The conversion rate.
yes, it will ask you which rate. Unlike QuickBooks that it has its own rates, there's a system rate in QuickBooks. That's if you capture without thinking about it, then to give you the system rate. Okay. But with Spotlight, before you do the consolidation, if you don't put in the rate, it will not give you. It will just stop. It will give you an indication that you need to put in rate before you can do the consolidation.
Which makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining the training session.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very, very, I like the way, everything you explain it, at least it's giving more encouragement to go for it. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So last, before you go, you see that the cash is a bank cash. So the cash here is 318,307.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we had in the cash flow diagram. And it's the same thing that we had in the KPI.
Okay.
So that is it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mariam. Yeah.
Thank you.